Nice to meet you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, it has this. Could that be like a setting on the computer? What's studio mode? That did something. I don't know. What's studio mode? That's I think this is the camera though. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just like,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm missing 50% of what I get to see when I see.
they're great. Except for negative today. Morning.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yep.
Normally I'm all in court. My daughter was positive earlier this week. She just tested negative today. I'm gonna risk it for you. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Brooke Bashan. Yeah, this is exciting. Super awesome. It's quite a good turnout. I agree.
We're going to get started in about 5 more minutes. We're going to get started in about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Test one, test two, test four. I'm pretty sure these seats are supposed to be.
She said, I see you. So I go give her a little shout out so she knows I care. So am I going to have to stop the stream now? Uh-huh. Okay, well. I'll try to look real quick. Started here in a minute.
I'm like perfect spot right here. No, no.
Everybody have a seat. Is that better? Okay, let's have a seat, everybody.
What's up, Coach?
Like this chair was out of it. Yeah. I didn't realize it was going to plug.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. I'm Antoinette Smithville, and I am the president of the Cotton Classical Personal Foundation. We've worked really hard over almost 6 years to purchase land, to get architectural renderings together, financing in place, and break ground today. So thank you for being a part of it. We are going to build a huge capital campaign and naming rights campaign. So we're hoping to continue the momentum of getting all phases completed, all the lots completed, and have a rounded out campus by the end of this year, maybe next spring. As an example, the shade structure that you're in right here is one of the largest in the state that's been built, and if you had named this space, your name would be on one of these cards to make this dream a reality. For coming, and we really appreciate it.
That anyway. Hello, everybody. I'm John Binner, Executive Director at Cottonwood Classical Preparatory School, and one of the initial 8 teachers. So this is a really meaningful day for me, as I know it is for a lot of you that are here with us, and that's why you're here. I want to also thank you for being patient with us with the wind being as strong and cold as it is. I know, especially if you're in the shade, it's a little bit cooler. Thank you for enduring this. We wanted to take an opportunity here because when good things happen, they should be celebrated. And I am one of those people who doesn't really need to celebrate. There's a lot to be done in running a school. I know many of you run businesses or manage operations for a business. We have students here managing the IB program. You tend to get really focused on the work, and it's hard to take a pause. But today is the day to take a pause and celebrate. So I'm gonna give some thank yous to people who are here and people who are not here but have been really heavily involved in this process. As Antoinette said, it's been pretty much the entire 6 years of her tenure that this has been building up to occur. The land that we're on right now, under the shade structure, the school's been working on purchasing it since 2013. We finally got the closing done in 2019 with some help, and now here we are, having just closed on some debt to secure this 24,000 square foot addition. It's taken a lot of people to do this, and it will take many more, for sure, to have it be successful and to continue finishing this school campus. We've got over 10 acres. We're about to have 7.5 of them fully developed, right? So there's a bit more work to do. So I first want to thank the Facilities Master Planning Committee. It's a combination of staff members, governing council members, foundation board members, who got really involved in what it is that we want to do. And we were led by Sanjay and Jeremy from FBT through that process, about a year of work, to sort of ask those big questions. What do we want this to look like? What is our school? What does it need? How does it need to grow? How can we support the mission through the facilities? We had some really wonderful conversations. And FBT is really, the architects, they've been working with us now for 2.5 years on large parts of this project. They've gone above and beyond the contract hours. I think they like schools more than they want to admit. It's fun. I think it's really fun. I've also learned that architects only spend about 10% of their time doing the fun stuff. Sorry, Jeremy, in particular. There's a lot going on that I had no idea, and it takes a lot of work from them. I never thought I'd be standing here thanking a bank, but where's Weston? Where's Weston? Hey, Weston. From NBH Bank with Hillcrest subsidiary here in Albuquerque. Very good, genuine people, supportive of charter schools. They understand that not every investment is about just the dollars. And that's been an absolute necessity for us in making this occur. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as just kind of going to the state government and asking for a loan. So we really appreciate NBH and all the support they've given us in procuring the land and in making this building a possibility. Ziegler Group, David Shin. David, when I first rolled into this job in summer 2019, there had been a letter left very recently from this guy who said he could buy the land, and he had this idea. And I read it and talked to Michael Behill about it, and it sounded honestly a little too good to be true after all the struggles the school had with this. But he was right. It works. We bought the land. And now here we are under a similar model, adding to our campus and making it better for our students. So it's been a lot of work on David's part, coordinating weekly meetings with 30 attorneys who speak a lot of jargon that I don't understand, but he does. And then he can help the rest of us understand what they said and what we need to do with it. So thank you. Really appreciate you. Cole and Sons, and in particular Skip Cole, I have been really impressed with the communication early on with this project, understanding what it's like to work at a school, navigating a groundbreaking ceremony with us, dealing with all the issues with permitting and waiting and student movement, having to change our egress road here for parent pickup and drop off. We bring a lot of extra challenges as a school, and I can tell early on that there's a lot of patience with the organization and willingness to partner with us. Thank you very much. Other charter schools in New Mexico, Matt Paul is here, and you'll be hearing from him. They help charter schools across the state, but it really takes allies to be able to understand the problems that we're struggling with as charter schools and to help us come up with solutions and sometimes communicate solutions that we're coming up with to build a better educational system for the entire state. City Councilor Brooke Hassan, who you'll also hear from today, has changed my view on local politics, really. She has been rock solid, very, very communicative, an excellent partner, a lot of value for the work that she's doing, and it shows. Every moment that we've had with her, she's doing this work for the right reasons. The governing council. So every charter school has a governing council, a board. These are volunteers. They commit for 2 to 4 years. They have to endure 8+ hours of training every single year, even if they've already had that same training. And they do it. I don't know why they do it. Actually, sometimes I wonder they have to work pretty hard. There's a lot of committee meetings. I ask a lot of questions. They do work between committee meetings, and there's no way people could do it and stay this passionate and consistent about it unless they really cared about the work they're doing and cared about schools. So I want to say thank you. I see you over there, Jill Van Garway, outgoing president, and a lot of the work that was done early on in this process, and Matthew Casey, our current governing council president, to keep that work going, to show up at every meeting, to be part of our facilities committee that put this together. Thank you both very much. And Yuri, I saw you too. Hey, Yuri. Yuri is extremely passionate about academics and about international mindedness and open-mindedness in helping us to grow our mission. And if I didn't see another GC member, I apologize. Thank you. Parents. So I saw Louis Capone. I don't know where, there he is. Hey, Louis, president of the Parent Advisory Council for many years now. Very clearly wants to put himself through quite a bit of difficult meetings and conversations because he loves the school, wants to see it grow and thrive, and he's helped us get a lot of feedback on facilities, on our program, and helps to drive this conversation going forward. And then we have other parents here as well, and they're a big part of this work. The Behill Group and Mike and Michael Behill are sitting over there, gentlemen. I know Michael has done a lot for this school since about 2006 to help make it happen and to keep it in a good place and support its executive directors. And now he gets to retire, sort of, after all of this hard work and interesting navigations of the lawyer speak and the all the business speak and the state government speak and the things that it takes to make this group happen. So thank you very much. The foundation board members, again, they do it as volunteers to make the school a better place. And Antoinette Checo has now, this is her 6th year, guys, 6 years doing this work. And it really is a tremendous asset for us. Thank you, Antoinette. See, there's a lot of thank yous. Donors to the campaign early on. So we already have a couple of places named, which is wonderful. And people that have bought in early and contributed. So the Dr. G Learning Commons is a big one in honor of Denise Giannopoulos, another colleague of mine in those early years, but also an early supporter of the school and the governing council and making it work. And it's wonderful to see a space named after somebody who has really given this much to the organization. And making this event happen. I'm not an event planner. I like talking and thanking people, but the actual planning and coordination is a lot for me. So thank you, Ashley Weaver. Thank you, Ray Wong, Assistant Director. Stephen Williamson and Mario Valero, thank you very much for helping to make this happen. The founders, so they're both here today, which is wonderful. Lynn Barr and Lynn Carey, who had this unreal dream, I think, that they could make a school happen, that the public school system in the state deserved to have something that rivaled the private schools, and they did. They really did it. And I heard referenced earlier today, we are the home of the Public Charter Schools of New Mexico Student of the Year this year, and her name is Daria Peralta, and what she said this morning is one of the things about this school that she carries with her and really loves is that this school really is about the whole child for the whole world. And I think you're familiar with that slogan. And she went on to expound on that and what it means. And it was a reminder for me that even at our current size of 760 roughly, that there's still that feeling and there's that understanding that that's why the school exists, is to really help students understand they are for the whole world. They have that and that they're seen. So thank you very much for founding the school and making this all start. And students, they're the ones that keep this place going every single day. They're the reason we do it. They're the reminder of the importance of the work. I know we don't have many of them here. We had wanted to, but we had to be remote this week. Unfortunately, just the Omicron variant has gotten to us too in our community. But this work really is for them, and I look forward to the ribbon cutting when they can all run around in the gym and just be excited. Full-size gymnasium, we can host our own basketball games, volleyball matches, have an actual homecoming, and have our entire school together. Because right now, the best we can do inside is grade level, right? That's huge for the culture of the school. There's a black box theater to support our IB theater program, to host performances, for us to be able to really allow our students to excel, engage in the performing arts, and demonstrate that we are a liberal arts school that is strong in all areas. There's a music classroom to rebuild our music program and not be confined to just guitar and vocals, but to really be able to grow our musicality and to help students understand and learn themselves through tunes. A new health office. As we've learned with COVID, it's really helpful to have a health office that factors in a bunch of different mitigations, like an exterior door, for example. A counseling suite, so that our school counselor and social worker have space to work, a confidential place where students can wait to speak with them, and resources for those in need. A very large student commons area that is larger than the house I grew up in. So students can feel like when they're between classes or it's the end of the day or before school, they have a place to just hang out with each other, use a microwave, use a vending machine, maybe check out a screen somewhere on the wall. That part of culture that every school should have, and as a charter school, growing, going through growing pains throughout the years, it's been hard to make time and space for something like that. Now we can finally do it. Uh, Cafeteria. Right now, our cafeteria is about 1,100 square feet. It's about to more than double in size. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but it's very exciting to have an actual large space for kids inside. The Dr. G Learning Commons, a library, media space, a place where kids can work, where we can have physical collections, house databases, house a librarian, have classes, that sort of thing, with a technology lab, and last but not least, a bunch of extra classroom space, because this school has grown and grown and grown and grown, and we still need to hundreds, and for us, it's very important to be able to give our students and our teachers the best possible situation. I also want to thank with this team of people over there right now with Joseph and Eleanor and Roberta and Patricia. A lot of support, a lot more than I had anticipated, and I appreciate the partnership and the work that's been done. And Sam Obenstein, who's here, I'm so glad that he's here, 8-year executive director, who really helped set the school up financially to be able to take on projects like this, because it's not easy. It's not easy. So, that's not even all of the thank yous, but I know I need to stop talking and give it over to more people to share their story and share what this means. So I'd like to welcome up to the podium Jocelyn Davis, Vice President of our Student Government and a Speech and Debate Champion. Jocelyn?
Janet once said, "Trust the magic of new beginnings." Now, as a shy, uncertain, and terrified sixth grader, I can't say that I trusted in the magic of new beginnings when I first walked through Cottonwood's doors. I couldn't envision the experiences that awaited me, the teachers that would support and inspire me, or the peers that would teach me about communication and collaboration. It's through my years at this school that I've experienced some of the best attributes of the Cottonwood community, and I've come to understand what it truly means to be a Coyote. Today, I'd like to share a few of those qualities with you. To be a Coyote means to be curious. At Cottonwood, we thrive when we engage in our learning. We ask questions relentlessly and seek to understand by listening and observing. We recognize that it takes a curious mind to look beneath the surface and discover new ideas. Helen Keller said, "A well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers." To
be a coyote means to cultivate compassion. We practice self-compassion and quiet our inner critic. We learn to acknowledge the commonality of the human condition when we intentionally orient ourselves to compassion. Only then can we take action to alleviate the subtle cruelty of indifference and feel the power of human connection. To be a coyote means to take risks and not be afraid of making mistakes. We understand that creative risks and good ideas often require a willingness to be wrong. Mistakes have the power to turn us into something better than we were before by increasing our capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. We start by taking smaller, well-informed risks, creating a positive pattern. This motivates us to take chances to reach our greatest goals. Finally, and maybe the most important lesson I've learned from my years at Cottonwood is, to be a coyote means to be an advocate for ourselves and others. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Whether we are developing resilience and confidence through self-advocacy, promoting social change and justice to transform our social and economic systems, or ensuring that those of us who have a seat at a table ensure that others are brought to that table too, advocacy is a powerful and important catalyst for the change we want to see. For Cottonwood Coyotes today, the word groundbreaking stands for far more than the literal breaking of ground. For my peers and I, this groundbreaking stands for opportunity to students and teachers when construction of our new gymnasium, Black Box Theater, the Dr. Duke Learning Commons, and much more is complete. I wrote a quote that says, "Life is a blank canvas, and we are the painters, needing to create something of worth and beauty that marks our journey." You hold your brush, choose your palette, and begin to fill your blank canvas, realizing that you are the artist of your own destiny. As students, we've chosen Cottonwood to be our palette for our middle school and high school years. And for our classes, sports, clubs, and extracurricular activities, we've chosen the colors to start painting our life's artwork. Day by day, we contribute a little more, knowing that there is no right or wrong way to create our masterpiece. Just like Michelangelo, who relied heavily on his assistants to paint the Sistine Chapel, we benefit from the support and guidance we receive from our parents, teachers, and the administration. This is the support system that is invested in our success and have worked incredibly hard to make this groundbreaking a reality. With the new additions to our school, we all will become the artists of Cottonwood's new campuses, imagining all the possibilities of a new beginning. What art will we create together? What will our campus look like in 2 years, in 5 years? With the amount of talent and dedication of members of our Cottonwood community, I know that there will be magic in our new beginning. At this time, I would like to introduce Matt Paul, Executive Director of Public Charter Schools of Cherokee.
These are tough acts to follow. We heard an incomplete and long list of all the people it took to make this happen today. To get this school up and running, to help it become successful, and to embark on something that's this ambitious. It's incredible to see. And there's 100 of them across the state. I want to thank John and the Cottonwood community for inviting me here today. And I want to remind us that this is really hard to do as a charter school. Charter schools get 1/3 the amount of facility funding that traditional public schools get in New Mexico. Charter schools have no public financing mechanism, and I want to thank our banking partners for being here and being willing to partner with a non-traditional organization like a charter school. We have to grind it out to get these kind of opportunities for our kids. And you heard John say every little piece that is going to be put about new opportunities for our students. And I'm here to tell you that it shouldn't be this hard for charter schools, which are public schools in New Mexico, to be able to obtain this financing, to be able to build facilities. When you're as successful and long tenured as Concord Classical is, it shouldn't be this hard. We should pour that community energy into our kids and programming for them. I want to thank everybody who put in their effort. And I want to let you know that we're working really hard to change this scenario for the next phase of Cottonwood's expansion, which hopefully will come soon so you can serve those hundreds of kids that are waiting to get into the school at some point. We have two bills out at the legislature, House Bill 43 and Senate Bill 78. It will provide more funding for facilities, provide a public financing mechanism, and allow more public property open for charter schools in the future. Public school students, regardless of where they choose to go, whether it's a charter school or a traditional public school, should have equal access to facilities that meet their needs. I really hope that you'll join us in fighting for that bill. And in the meantime, we get into advocacy really quick, and I jumped right in there. So I really hope you'll both celebrate this achievement because it is a big deal, and it took years, and it took dozens of folks to make that happen. But also work with us and with John and the rest of the charter school community to make this an easier process for charter schools in the future. I just want to thank again Cottonwood and congratulate them on what they've accomplished here. It really is challenging, and it should be for schools like this. So thank you, John. Thanks for the opportunity to speak today. It's a wonderful community here. I think my first conversation hearing about this was years ago, and I think I joined the fray midway through, if not towards the tail end here. So congratulations, and thank you very much. I'd like to introduce City Councilor Ruth Hassan as our next speaker.
Good morning. This is an honor to be here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because there's a lot that's already been said, and without rehashing all of the same things, I came to Cottonwood Classical last week for a tour. I've had some friends and I've known some people that have students that go here, and I've heard great things about this school. Coming last week for a tour and seeing what was going on as far as what's currently existing and the future plans for this school and this community have been really invigorating. Kids deserve places to learn. They deserve fun, exciting, energetic rooms to be in, but they deserve a gymnasium and a library and a common area. And one thing I do want to repeat, and I think the intention is there, is charter schools have this challenge living in some limbo place, right? Not quite recognized by everybody as a public school, even though they are. Guys, and thank you, Counselor Hassan, for helping us get affordable. So, I mean, it was one of those that just these thank you cards that share that kids are saying they're too congested in the hallway and thank you for their own space. The teachers and the gratitude that they offer to make sure to share that they appreciate having somewhere to really guide the future of our children. And that's really powerful. I became a city councilor because friends asked me to represent them when they found out our old city councilor was going to retire. I laughed at them because I had never thought of myself as a politician. I didn't really follow politics. So 8 months later, when they invited me to run again and they asked me if I would, I laughed at them again a little bit harder. And then I went home and I told my husband our friends are crazy. Isn't that funny that they want me to represent them? what I think was a really small thing to do was a reminder that I'm doing this for the right reason. And thank you for pointing that out. Because I would be willing to raise my voice and I will be willing to make the phone call or the email so that I can help all of you in addition to all of our children in the community. So I'm going to keep all those thank you cards because they're super amazing. Remind me of exactly why I got into this and how I can help. So I can't wait to come back to see all of the next days in its full completion, to see this gymnasium, to see where we can all eat together again, where we can spend time together as a community, and to see these kids and what they're doing best, which is growing and enriching their lives to represent us in the future. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know who I'm supposed to invite up after this. Okay, so John's on his way back up, and thank you all very much for today.
Okay, the last thing that we have before photos and tours is some special recognition for a member of the community that's been supporting this school for over 15 years now. And without whom truly, this would have been just a dream still of the two links. And to help with this, I'd like to ask Lynn Barr, one of the founders, to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
John, thank you for letting me do. Lynn, it was 15 years ago. We met at the Al Cafe over green chili cheeseburgers, and just the notion of cottonwood was coming out of our mouths. So it's amazing to see all of this, and it actually brings tears to our eyes. So that was a segue to now. I'm going to introduce Susan Hunter. So when Lynn and I first started thinking about the charter, we needed a campus. And someone mentioned to me that the Unsers were putting together an educational facility at the Unser Museum. So Lynn and I went down to visit them, and as we drove onto the campus, we saw two enormous, beautiful, majestic cottonwood trees. That was it. We'd already named the school, so it was a perfect fit. We just had to tell the Unsers if we were actually going to move in, their stepchildren were coming to live with them. So construction and remodeling began, and with the support, generosity, and patience of the Unsers, we opened our doors in 2008. The campus would house us for 5 years, and many firsts for Cottonwood would happen there. Our first lottery, our first backup on Matanya that was not due to the bridge, our first IB diploma students, Al Unser's first time ever to get on a school bus. He wasn't really into school. Our first game of poker was that watching the children on the campus, watching the energy, was the best thing that had ever happened to them, and they loved watching the students. Even as the student body grew exponentially every year, and we realized we had outgrown our current home, the Unser support did not stop. They continued funding scholarships and the IB program, donating to professional development and IB training, and now part of the new facility. Susan has worked tirelessly for all students through reading programs, the Challenger Center, scholarships, and infinite support. She has built a bookstore up in China, New Mexico, and is working on an adult literacy program. Thank you, Susan Hunter, one of my dearest friends, for your support of Cottonwood and support of education for New Mexico and students of all ages.
So we have two things for you, Susan. One of them I'm holding right here. It's a scrapbook of student messages. It's they had a prompt saying "I love Cottonwood because," and we let them fill in the blank. And so we have this for you, and I'll bring it to you in a moment. The other thing is, in recognition of all these 15 years of support, the foundation has agreed to name the cafeteria in honor of your family. So it will be Unser Alley is the name of our cafeteria. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to transition into photos who wants to. So the first photo we're going to do with the founders and with Susan, and then after that, architects and bank and broker and contractors, everyone else come on over, and then after that, coaches, any other staff, and really, we can do a lot of photos after that too. So, but to start with, we'll do Susan and Lynn's right over here. Okay, trying to make little announcements here and there to get more people over. And in the meantime, while you're waiting, feel free to network. There's some people here who have been huge supporters of charter schools and get warm. I know a lot of you have been sitting in the shade. Walk around, get some sunshine. Oh, and if you're one of those people that has to leave right now, or you have to leave in the middle of photos, there are goodie bags for you. Please take one. Okay, that's